Don't shoot! It's me! Don't shoot! It's me, Snake!
Otacon, how'd you get here?
I was riding in the back of their truck. Thanks to the stealth camouflage.
How did you get up here?
The elevator, of course. Do you think love can bloom, even on a battlefield?
Yeah, I do. I think at any time, any place, people can fall in love with each other. But if you love someone, you have to be able to protect them.
I think so too.
I have a favor to ask.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, it'll be easy.
I told you before I don't want to hurt anyone.
I don't want you to either.
Okay.
The elevator is stopped down there. I want you to get it to move.
It was working before. If it's the mechanism, leave it to me.
I've got to go and swat a noisy fly.
Okay. I'll stay here and hold the fort. Good luck.
You really look like hell. Are you okay?
Don't worry. If I do this, it doesn't matter. I just pretend like I'm not here, and then I'm not scared.
Strange logic. I'm counting on you. Damn!
Snake! I'm afraid I can't let you get past here.
Liquid!
You're not going any farther. Die!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Shattered Ice Plays, Metal Gear Solid, the board game. And we are today continuing our Shadow Moses campaign with another boss battle, this time the helicopter gunship. So let's take a quick look at what the helicopter gunship does. Okay, so its basic stats are 2 black attack dice, its defense is a star, which we'll see why that is in a moment, and against just Snake it has 12 health. So, hovering. The gunship shifts left or right along the edge of the comms tower roof tile, lining up its facing indicator with the tile's arrow. To turn around the tile corner, the gunship turns 90 degrees and aligns itself with the tile's next arrow. So that means it is going to be shifting left and right, and it may even rotate around here. And I have this nice little helicopter model to add a little something to this playthrough. And then it has firing lane. The gunship fires down the row or column of its facing indicator until it hits a wall. If a player moves into, through, or completes an action while in this firing lane, the gunship attacks them. After each time the gunship shifts a space, check if there are players in its firing lane. If there are, attack each player in it. After the gunship reaches 6+ threat, it attacks with 3 dice instead. So when it gets to 6 on its threat track, it will gain +1 black die for its attack. Armour. The gunship can only be damaged by missiles fired from the SAM Launcher special action card, which we'll look at in a moment. Evasive. After a missile has fully completed its movement and is within the yellow dashed border of the gunship tile, reveal the top boss card and resolve its evasion, and return the card to the bottom of the deck. Then deal damage to the gunship equal to the damage in the missile's space. So what that means is we are going to be drawing these cards whenever we shoot at it, and if its reaction tells us it shifts left, it may shift away from our missile, it may shift into it. It all depends on how well the pilot is doing at avoiding our attacks. So we have the SAM Launcher Special Action card. So it has 3 ammunition, and we have an ammunition crate and another one down here. So discard 1 ammunition and place the missile in an adjacent empty space, then roll 2 black dice and move the missile directly away from your figure, spaces equal to 1 of the results. Then you may move it in any other direction, spaces away equal to the other result. If it moves into an obstacle off the map, discard it with no effect. After resolving the gunship evasion symbol, deal damage to the gunship, deal damage equal to the amount on the space the missile is on, then discard the missile. What that means is, if you look here, similar to when we fought the tank earlier, there are different levels of damage based on where we hit it. So the best place to hit it is the cockpit or the tail rotor. And then if we hit it in its main rotor, it's 3 damage. So we'll put the card there, set its threat up, it begins at threat 3, and we'll quickly shuffle. The hell is that doing in there? And we'll quickly shuffle these cards. I don't know why Psycho Mantis was in there, still playing mind games from beyond the grave. Okay, so zoom out. So for this fight, because we can only use the SAM launcher, we're bringing 2 sets of rations and the Pentasm in. Because this is going to be very handy for us, being able to re-roll dice. So with this gunship, it's going to be important to learn the order that it evades in, because otherwise we're just going to end up missing it all the time. This gunship can be pretty damaging because of its firing lane ability, so you have to imagine like it's constantly firing its machine gun wherever it's moving, and it's going to fire down these lanes. So this will likely be a bit easier with just one character, because it'll be easier for Snake to hide behind these or behind here. But when you're playing this with multiple characters, it's very hard to stop the gunship from hitting at least one character. And when it's rolling 3 dice by the end of the battle, it's pretty deadly. But hopefully we won't have to worry about that too much. So we are going to begin with Snake, and we want to get through this deck as quick as possible. So the first thing we will do is sneak back 2 spaces, and then we're going to use our SAM launcher. And we'll place the missile there, and then we're going to roll our 2 black dice. So it's going to move 3 in one direction and 5 in another. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go 3 to the left. I'm not expecting to do much damage to it this turn, but we can use Snake's I Work Alone ability to change that 3 into a 2 with his -1 to that die when using a weapon. So we can actually put it right in the centre. So we draw its reaction card. We see what the reaction is. So we actually do get lucky. Do not shift. If this missile does less than 4 damage, increase the threat by 1. Ah, that's unfortunate, because this only does 3 damage. So the gunship will take 3 damage, but its threat will go up to 4. So we want to remember our top card is going to be not shifting, and there's 6 cards. So once we've resolved 5 more cards, we know to go for that weak spot. Okay, so we've done 3 damage. That's a good start. We are going to use our last action to sneak here and hopefully be safe. Take the missile off. Okay, so we draw the gunship's card. So, shift spaces equal to the current threat level along the blue arrow. So that's going to be 4. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn this corner. Okay, and lucky for us, it doesn't gain line of sight to us, so we don't get attacked. And it's just given us a really good position to shoot from. So Snake is going to use his first action to launch another missile from the SAM launcher. I am aware it's an SAM launcher, by the way. I'm just calling it a SAM launcher because it's easier. I don't think the launcher is actually called SAM. Although maybe it is, who knows. Okay, so 5 and a 3 again. It's pretty much the same as before, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. Okay, so it's going to shift left or right. So it might be worth doing the exact same thing again, and then we've got a chance of dealing it 2 damage. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll use I Work Alone to reduce that to 2, and we'll go 1, 2. So it's dead in the centre again. So this is its 3rd card. So its reaction, shift 2 to the left and move the missile 2 to the right. Oh dear. Okay, so it's going to go 1, 2, and the missile is actually going to move 2 to there. So it is unfortunately going to shoot Snake. So we need to remember that for the 3rd card. So the missile doesn't do anything. And then it will attack Snake. We're going to use our -2 focus token to change that into a 2, so it doesn't do any damage. So the dangerous thing here is if we move into, through, or end our turn in its line of sight, it's going to attack us, and we have to move through its line of sight to actually get here where we're safe. So we're going to dash, but as soon as we move to here it'll attack us. So we'll finish our dash, but we're going to get attacked in this space. 2 2s. Good job he's a bad shot. Okay, so we've dashed. What we'll do is we will dash again, and then we'll sneak 1 to there. So we've dashed, we've sneaked, and then we'll reload our SAM launcher. Okay, so this is the 5th card, I believe. Hopefully. Okay, so shift space is equal to the current threat. So the current threat is 4. So what it's going to do, because it is moving to its left this way, it's going to go 1, 2, and then it skips all of that and goes 3, 4. So unfortunately it gets a line of sight on Snake again. So we will see what damage it does. On this time, a 6 and a 3. Oh, that's 2 damage to Snake that we can't avoid. But it's Snake's turn again, and I'm pretty sure the next card is going to be back round to the top of the deck, which means it shouldn't move this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our free sneak action focus token to sneak 1, and we're not in its firing lane, so it's not going to attack us. Then we're going to use our second action to refresh our -2 focus token. Okay, we're just going to go for it here, I think. So we're going to use our third action to place the missile. And fire, getting a 6 and a 5, and that might be exactly what we need. Because we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's the centre. Okay, so we're not going to do quite that. What we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've used the 5. Now we need to make this into a 1. So the first thing we will do is use Snake's focus token. That allows him to re-roll a die. And we'll see what this gets us. Ah, another 5. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to use our Pentazamin. which when we discard a token from this card any time during your turn, so we can do it at any point, it doesn't cost us an action, so we can do it now. Until the end of your turn, each time you roll dice as part of an action, you may re-roll any number of those dice once. So, I'm going to assume that is on top of our re-roll focus token, and that's my understanding of that. So hopefully I'm not playing this wrong, but I can re-roll that die again. Oh, and this time we get a 1, which is exactly what we wanted. So the missile moves to there, right in the cockpit. And we resolve our gunship's evasion. Do not shift. If this missile deals less than 4 damage, increase the threat by 1. So he doesn't move, and takes a direct hit to the cockpit, doing 4 damage, which puts him on 7 damage. So that card then goes to the bottom of the deck, and that's only one action we've used so far. Its threat doesn't increase either, so I think we're going to try another one, because if I remember correctly, the next one shifted 1, I think. Can't remember which way though, but I think it shifts 1, so we're going to try and get the rotors. So we are going to dash forward 1, we're going to fire another missile, that's a 5 and a 4. Oh, missile is of course here, so it goes, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and put it there, and then we will use our -2 focus token to turn that into a 2, and then we've also got our I Work Alone ability, which we didn't use on our last shot, so we can turn that into a 1, and we can put it dead centre in the rotors. So we draw another card. Okay, shift 1 to the left and move the missile 1 to the right. So it's going to turn the corner like this, and then the missile will shift 1 that way, and that will deal 2 damage, putting the gunship on 9 damage. And that goes to the bottom, and that is the end of our turn. So the gunship's next card. Shift spaces equal to the current threat. If the gunship dealt no damage this turn, increase threat by 1. Okay, so it's going to shift 4, unfortunately, this way. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, as it passes Snake, it will attack him. That was 3 and a 2, so it does 1 damage, putting Snake on 3 damage. So we can't risk it. The first thing Snake's going to do is eat one of his packs of rations. Right, so we've got 3 more cards before it doesn't shift. So we're just going to try and get it on the 3 again. So Snake's first action was to eat his first set of rations. His second action is going to be to, in fact his second action will be to refresh his -2 focus token, and then we're going to launch another missile. Okay, with a 5 and a 3. Right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then with the 5, we're gonna use our -2 focus token to turn it into a 3. And then we'll use our I Work Alone to turn it into a 2 and go 1, 2. So we draw the evasion card. So it shifts 1 to the right and then moves one to the left, or moves the missile one to the left. So it's going to go that way, and then the missile will go that way. I'm correct? Yep. So that does 2 damage, which puts it on 11 damage, and it has 1 health left. And unfortunately we need to reload, and we can't risk being hit. But I don't think we're going to be able to avoid it. We've got 1 action left. It's moved this way a hell of a lot, so this is very risky, but I am going to head for these rockets down here. So we're going to dash, moving through it. Thankfully it hasn't got its 3rd die yet. 3 and 2, it hits Snake once, putting him on 2 damage. And that's the end of Snake's turn. So we draw its card. Okay, phew, it's moving that way. Shift spaces equal to the current threat, which is still 4. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. But this might not be too bad. Because I think the next card, I think we've gone through 6 again. So we hit it with 2 missiles there, and then it's resolved in action. So if I've got the sequence right, it's not going to move. But I'm going to have to take a lot of shots from it if I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's too dangerous. So we're not going to reload just yet. What we're going to do is refresh our reroll. We'll refresh our -2. And then we will sneak 1 to there. And we'll see which way the helicopter moves. Oh, I miscounted anyway. That's actually pretty good. So it's going to shift spaces equal to the current threat. So it's going to move 4 spaces back this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's really good, because that means the next card must be the one where it doesn't shift. And it hasn't attacked us. So we're going to dash 1. We're going to reload for 1. And then we just need to get 1 point of damage, so it doesn't matter where we hit it, it's anywhere. So let's just fire our missile and hope for the best. Okay, we've got a 3 and a 2, that's perfect. Because we can use our -2 focus token to turn that into a 1. And then we can move the missile forwards 2 and 1 to the right. And now if I've counted correctly, we should take this out. Which I have. Do not shift. If this missile deals less than 4 damage, increase the threat by 1. Well, that doesn't matter, because with 3 damage, that is enough to destroy the helicopter.
See you in hell, Liquid. That takes care of the cremation.
Okay, and that is the end of the battle with the helicopter gunship. So, it's a good fight, that one. I really like the way they've done that. You're on this small map, and the way the helicopter zips around and it fires down these entire columns and rows, it makes it really dangerous. It's a lot of trying to hide from it. These are really well-positioned pieces of cover. It's again, it's very much like the video game. You know, there's a lot of finding cover in that. And the most dangerous spot is going for the ammunition here. This one can be a bit safer if the helicopter's over this side. But as you can see there, the helicopter moves around quite a lot, and yeah, it can be quite dangerous. So if you imagine this with 3 characters, you know, if you've got a character here, here, and like, say, up here somewhere, then there's a very good chance when it moves it's going to hit at least one of them. And of course it only needs to kill one character to give you a game over. So this is a lot harder with more characters, especially because of the increase in the health value. You know, you play at a higher value, you know, with 4 characters, with everyone involved. Otacon wouldn't be on the board, he's off in his own little like place doing some hacking, but with 35 health it makes a huge difference. So yeah, I do really like that that boss stage. And for completing that we unlock equipment card 17. So that is the missile launcher. So discard 1 ammo and place a missile in an adjacent space, then move the missile directly away from your figure until it would move into an obstacle or occupies the same space as a figure. When it does, attack all figures within 1 space in line of sight. Yeah, so it's essentially just the SAM launcher. So Snake is once again victorious, and he will continue on his way towards the hangar, where he will hopefully soon find Metal Gear. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and Snake is going to call Mailing to save his progress, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
What can I do for you, Snake?